Call to order at 6:15. Also, I tried to make it on the notes so it's a little bit easier to, on the agenda, easier to fill it in.
Oh, where? Let me open up the agenda. Is it in the email? Because then I can just make a copy of it.
Yeah.
What's for dinner, Leslie?
Oh, it's here, okay. Good to meet you. So that's human services.
I don't. Where can I find our agenda?
I've been walking in that place where the, but
We don't have to.
Okay. Email it to me or share it?
Can I? Yeah.
Which one are you gonna do?
Email.
Hello, welcome.
finally found the place.
Oh gosh, there's too many.
I was just walking around, a bunch of guys are playing basketball there.
Until you have to hang up.
Not gonna explode. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, we're calling to order at 6:15. Go back in time 2 minutes. Yeah. I don't know. Sure. All right. Minutes. December motion to approve the December board minutes.
Motion to approve.
Oh, I can mute people.
Yes.
You have the
You have power. Okay. And any problems with those minutes? No, we're all good. Public comment. We don't. A tool. You guys are public.
Okay, what type of comment do you want from me?
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year, yeah. It was, December meeting was a great meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Today's going to be another
Fine
great
meeting.
meeting.
All right, very good. Any updates from last meeting? Do we know who's going to write the next article? We didn't send anything out for January, and I was feeling really like we probably should, just to say like, this is when I'm getting 3,000 ads for like Ozempic and other things for the new year and the new you. So like, maybe people have sustainability goals too, hopefully. So, is Leslie missing again? Okay, we lost Leslie.
We lost Leslie.
She was talking about some article, wasn't she? Or no? Did I get that confused?
She was
talks about a
talking.
lot of articles. I'm not sure which one specifically. I know she was willing to write.
Okay. Anybody else want to take a jab at it?
This is for
Just the
next
usual,
month for the
yeah,
town.
yeah, for the town, for Bridgetown is hello.
Hello.
What Bridgetown News / sending out to our newsletter.
Does it have to be a specific topic or you can choose your own topic?
We are amenable to anyone choosing the topic.
And how short, how long it has to be?
Tom, do you think you can mute?
So Leslie's on virtual, right?
No, Leslie dropped off.
Well, she was here for call to order, right? So
Yeah, she was.
as soon as she gets back on. And Tom was on.
Tom is on. Tom, can you
I'm
mute?
here.
Can you mute, please? There's a lot of static coming from you.
Really? Okay.
Kevin.
I'm in a room all by myself.
Hennepin?
Thank you.
Okay.
Just crowded over there.
Very crowded.
Very crowded.
Down to earth.
All right. BJ, did you have any thoughts or feelings on the next article? I'm just thinking we need to, we were on a roll doing one a month. Then we all kind of followed.
Thoughts and feelings, let me think a minute.
Yeah.
Is there a standard template format, length, how many words? and
Nope.
It's all free form.
Free form. Honestly, like what I've said before, you could make a crossword if you want. Doesn't matter. I actually think that would be fun still.
Should we comment on the PPZ?
No, like I think it would.
I'll take your piece.
Yes, that's
On the sustainability, just not a non-biased perspective of what it means to have more people in the town and the impacts. Which I feel like
it would garner attention.
Yeah.
Certainly.
would be, like, because I feel like you do this a little bit for work too, would be just a non-biased, non-partisan, like, these are the documented impacts of bringing more people into a town. These are all of the things that can be
Yes, we can
affected.
look at
Not a negative or positive or how they are affected, just like these are the list of things that can be affected and that people go from there.
Bringing more people in town.
Building
Yes.
more housing.
They're building more housing, and it's controversial because of the way it was done. However, the crux of the issue is that there's gonna be more people in Woodbridge, and like
Just
how,
from a sustainability.
from a sustainability perspective, how would that affect the environment, the schools, the town services, like the cascade of effects overall, like just kind of almost like a list.
Yeah, right. So what you were saying before, like soil.
Yeah,
You know, changes the soil. changes-
permeability, like what are they using to build them? What are the roofs gonna look like? Is it gonna affect migration patterns because the color of the roof can affect the migration patterns of different species? Is it going to be in an area that's a wooded area that's probably a wildlife crossing pass through? How is that going to affect different species in the area? Like, so just kind of like a, get people
Thinking in a different
talking.
way.
So it sounds like I'm writing this.
It sounds like you're right, and
That's a-
it's because of the type of housing it is.
Yes, it does.
And that it isn't, you know, also isn't helping.
Yeah, we can cover it.
We co-wrote before.
Ah, but I didn't do it again.
This one is
But it's like
water
right
source.
there.
I mean,
I know.
So
I don't really fully understand
do
how
you,
it's gonna
do you
work.
know where it is? There's a pond
Eight-
right
Yes,
there.
right, but- which is a huge
Right there.
impact,
Yeah.
exactly. You have all that waste.
But there's a house right there.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's a single family, I don't know that as much.
I know, but it's like,
Somewhere on the
this is gonna
fountain.
affect that
That house,
house.
I think, was
I was gonna do
foreclosure
this.
for a
Right.
while.
Like, oh, I'm looking at this
Now-
pond, and now
Well,
we
we
know
should
that my guy's.
go out.
Yes, 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 and there's that
There's
big
not enough
pond
space.
that looks like a restaurant.
100 units.
almost.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're gonna
Oh,
do
you
it.
think one from
No, and the building is like, it's
Yeah,
like,
that's why
what?
they
There.
do stories to do 100 units, is that because you do 10.
Housing is going to be on top of the pond.
We don't know, that's, it looks like it would not technically have to be on top of the pond. New practices ways.
Are they gonna drain the pond?
Well, that's something we
You're
have
wrong
to.
for that.
Yeah. I'll put together a laundry list. What does this article do?
I think conservation is
very
probably
complex.
the committee to talk to you about that.
How will that impact sustainability? Wow.
Right.
That's a complex issue.
Yep. All right, so that's something to think about. All right. BJ,
Any
any?
due, doesn't matter, just whenever I get it together.
That's when it's due, when it's done. BJ, did you have a chance
You're
to
welcome.
talk to Orange?
I have been unable to actually speak to any of the people I need to speak to at Trex or at Orange, although messages have been left. I did go
That's
there,
exciting.
but the people there know nothing about how it's done. They didn't know if there was a baler. It was freezing out, and I didn't want
Yeah.
to like check all the grounds, and I wouldn't know if it was the right thing anyway.
Okay, that's good progress though.
They just have a little, like almost like a little shed, open shed, like a roofed area.
Okay.
And they've got a big, clear plastic bag, good signage, I did take a picture of it.
Okay.
No black, which I'm also calling
Oh.
them to see if I can drop it off in black, because sometimes the custodians
Right.
line it in black.
We do love a good black line.
And rather than our clear, we have the clear. So that call is in,
Huh,
check that.
interesting.
Well, just like your plastics.
Right, right, yeah, exactly. Those aren't recyclable.
Yeah,
That
so
would
like
make
there's
sense.
other colors that are okay, but not
Yeah.
black.
Huh,
So I have a call in to clarify, I'm surprised, I'm
So no
thinking
black
she might be on
plastic
vacation. She's usually very good at getting
Oh,
right back.
really?
I
What about
failed on that. I didn't know
silver?
that law.
With the white ones?
We think those are okay. Because like black plastic containers also aren't
Aren't.
recyclable.
That's
either.
true.
Yeah, like
That
not
makes sense.
foil,
Right,
so,
Wait, we can't recycle black plastic?
yeah, like
Even
Chinese
if
food
it's-
containers.
No, the push film.
Right, that's what we're thinking. So she's gonna double check.
so I have a call in to double check. Orange has the sign up not to. There has not been much in, nothing
But I've never seen
noticeable
that at
in
grocery
there.
stores or anything, so.
Because I pull it all out, there's probably a little, but nothing,
It's all.
nothing, no big
Well,
amounts.
no, it's not a lot, but.
No, but you figure any recycling, there is some mistakes.
Yeah.
In any recycling. And I pull it all out, thank goodness things have been clean and dry,
Yeah.
because nothing's been
Yeah.
smelly and everything's been clean and dry, because you know, you don't know.
Yeah.
Other than the hoot when somebody threw their snow cone in there.
Yeah.
Other than that one time, it's been clean and dry, and very little black, very little crinkly, like sometimes like laminate type paper
Yeah.
or the gift bag stuff.
Okay.
That is not film, or chip wrapper, very little. Like I pull out like a handful each time, and I don't go through bundles, but I do squish them.
Yeah.
And I do pull everything out. We are currently at about, close to like 400 in.
Wow.
Great.
Pounds?
Yeah.
We should
We do about 20 pounds a week.
Part of our.
We do about 20 pounds a week.
1,000 pounds.
Yeah,
We
no,
need
no, no.
1,000
By what date?
by end of April, actually. I thought we had till May, but it's like April
The
29th.
school year.
Well, you know what? We can do a big push for it with Earth Day
Yeah.
and around the school.
It will be too close, before Earth Day.
No, I'm saying like leading up to Earth Day,
Yeah,
a big
as
push
soon
for it.
as we.
Because I've had several people be like, "Oh, is Beecher still doing that?" Like they thought it was like a week fundraiser kind of thing, and I'm like, "It's all the time."
Yeah.
Because then they were like, "Could I give it to you for next time?" I'm like, "No, take it to the school. Get away from me with your plastic bags."
Yeah, so I think if we give a push,
Yeah,
we'll
I
get
think
it.
so.
It would be almost nice if we do anything. Like
Yeah.
if we're at anything, we do a push for it at that event.
Yep.
So, like,
Just because it's a
Saturday.
lot to, like, I'm looking out 20 pounds of plastic and digging through it every Friday.
That's what we were
Kind of
hoping to do.
Did you get a lot from the holidays?
Not
I
yet,
sent it.
really.
You will, I
because-
have a giant one.
Yeah, because, you know, it just comes. Now, for you guys, if it's like enough, if you've got like 10 pounds or something, like, you never know, you have like that
Yeah.
much, drop it off, take a picture horizontal at Stop and Shop, and send it to me and give me the information,
Oh,
and I'll
Added
Just-
to our total.
just put it in.
Oh, okay.
Like, it's not worth it to go drop off 2 pounds, but if you cram like a big drum tight and cram it and smush it and can't fit another bag in there, that's about 20 pounds.
very good.
To give you an idea of size.
Yeah, I don't have that much, but,
And then drop it off at Beecher and I add it to the,
can we do anything special so that you know that this bag drop is clean, so you don't have to go through it? Or-
I'm not digging into, you guys tie them up. I am giving them a squish, I am looking, because usually they're enough transparent.
Yeah.
I'm pretty fast, I'm pretty good at telling, and I figure if there's a little
The
wrong.
majority are transparent, probably. Too.
Right, they are, almost all of them I can see in. And then the ones that aren't tend to not be full, like it'll be a big Amazon bag,
Yeah.
and then I'm using it and shoving the smaller ones in it,
Okay.
so.
Do we know how many people are actually participating or how many families?
We don't, but I can say it's going up.
So the only metric that we have is how many pounds are donated. Apart from that,
Yeah.
how many percentage of residents are participating, how frequently people are, we don't know about that.
We don't know that. I'm gonna get stats from Orange. They're a much bigger town. However, information from Trex is if you are gonna do 4,000 pounds or more, you should have a baler and then you can like work directly with them and we could collect at the center of town. If we can do 1,000 pounds and it's kind of easy at Beecher, I would think the town would do 4,000. Because you're only getting it from the families at Beecher
And not everybody.
who are doing it,
Yeah.
and we're not over promoting it yet, because it's kind of like, let's make sure we're doing it right and find out all
Yeah.
the information.
Better to go slow at first than full
Yeah.
speed ahead.
But I think if we hit the 1,000, then to present it and say, look, this is just Beecher. Town should be able to do 4,000.
Yeah.
You can, you kind of like pay off the baler. Like you get it from Trex, and then the plastic you give them pays the baler off. So, you know, maybe we raise some for it, but the rest is kind of just paid over time.
It's just getting people
Through
used to it.
the
Just
plastic
getting
you're giving
used
them,
to it.
yeah.
Just like anything.
I do think our town will need a second collection spot. other
Yeah, oh,
than
yeah.
the transfer station.
Well, could Beecher remain a second collection spot?
It could, but I
But
can't
yeah, she can't keep doing it.
do it
though.
it needs to be
Every
done
year.
every week.
I would say
and
probably like
can't.
somewhere in the center here, campus would probably be good, because more people go through here, whether you know, for
Yeah.
any one of the buildings. Maybe you don't go to town
Although-
hall all the time, but you go to the library.
Although, it, not to say that Public Works, if the custodians would have it ready
Yeah,
every Friday,
Yeah.
or Monday, or Wednesday, doesn't really matter which day.
yeah.
I do it Friday because I'm not gonna go till the weekend. If our custodians would get it ready and Public Works could swing by the center of town, swing by Beecher, swing by the high school and grab them all,
Yeah.
and then bring them to the transfer station,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see that being a huge add-on.
Yeah, no,
If
no,
we're
I
gonna
agree.
do all the rest of the work, I can see Public
I
Works or
think big
whoever
places,
taking
right, if
that.
you had high school, if you had, you know, Beecher, like those places like that just have more film plastic from their own deliveries and stuff like that anyway.
Right.
So, have those be spots, have the transfer station have somewhere here. That should do it.
Does the plastic have to be donated from Woodbridge people, or can we have it?
There's no way to know where it's coming from.
So I'm kind of I'm just kind of wondering if I can ask my students, give them sort of an assignment, like bring the piles of plastic, and then I give them points for that.
Yeah, there's no way to know. Trex wants it. That's how they make their boards, their benches, their playground equipment, all the things they make. So they want it. To build what they're creating and to keep this cycle of
Right.
going so that we're not just throwing it out and starting from scratch again, so they don't care where it's coming from. Once it becomes a municipality thing, like, you know, if somebody's going to play basketball and they're from New Haven and they know it's there and they're
Right,
conscientious.
just like you don't have to be a Stop and Shop customer to go drop it off at Stop and Shop, you just do because you know that's where the bin
Right, because
is.
it's one of their locations to drop it off. So, you know, I will certainly clarify with them, but they don't know who's dropping it off. So I would say yes, your
Yeah, so-
students could do that. It's a learning thing for them.
Right. Yeah. It could be a win-win.
And it
you
could
know.
get us to the £1,000 for this one little promo thing. Because again, we started late with the fact that summer the school was shut down. We lost
Right.
All that teacher stuff.
4 months. School and rec's there and summer enrichment is there. And there's a lot that goes on. The school doesn't close except last summer when this had started.
Let me try that, you know. So for some couple of my spring classes, one of them is about sustainability. So maybe
So
I'll
that's-
just include an assignment.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Just give them
perfect.
bonus points, you know. Bring 50 pounds and five extra points or something
Oh,
like that.
go.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
Win-win.
Why not?
Alright, very good.
And then if it goes to town, then we go to the businesses
Right.
and have them, because all the pallets and all their supplies comes wrapped, and that's really where it is. We missed all that when they were doing construction at Beecher. I even said, I'm like, call me, I'll come pick it all up. But it's, you know, I get it, it's so chaotic.
Does it seem like the school is participating, like the school itself, not just parents?
There's, I don't know, there's not a lot. You know, the pallet comes in with all the paper, and I know one time, yes, it was put in, and another time it was put in the regular recycle bin, which is like 20 feet away, and I'm like, no, so I pulled that out, I pulled, you know, all kinds of things out of there, like, this is a giant blue recycle bin. Everybody knows what goes in a recycle bin. And the straps on the paper boxes do not, nor
Don't go anywhere,
does
yeah.
the film, nor does, I won't mention some of the other things that showed up in there, but they didn't belong here.
Alright, very good. This Saturday, the lecture is going to be at the library from 3 to 4. Is everyone planning to be, we're not able to come? Anyone else? Yes? No?
I signed up.
You're a maybe.
I did not sign up, but
Oh, I did not sign up either.
I did not sign up either, but I did.
Actually, I would actually vote that. So the library now has started registration with their new event.
Oh, right.
However, I would actually encourage our own committee not to sign up because I'm actually watching that to see how many people I'm expecting to come. So honestly, if it ends up just being us, I'm gonna be really sad. So far, there's,
Oh, gosh.
there's 23 spots still available. I think it started at 30, so there should be 7 registrants so far. But again, I'm really hoping it's not just us, because that would be.
How do we sign up to attend as community members? Do we just?
Oh, you just
If
come.
you go to the library website.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, not to live
You just
from,
come.
Just come, oh,
You just
okay,
come.
got it.
Anyway, so yes, I'm planning to be there. I'm hoping to.
This is Diana's lecture
Yes, this is Diana.
on what is an energy audit.
Energy audit, heat smart,
The whole
going net zero,
program.
the whole thing. I think she's gonna probably do what she did
Last
last
time.
time too. It's a very good lecture. It'll play into the heat smart campaign.
I still
as
haven't heard
well.
back from them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, they've been gathering, well, not them specifically, but all the, outside contractors who want to come in.
Yeah,
to
see?
I've already
Why
had
are you not
multiple
getting
heat
on?
Why
audits.
am I not getting?
I don't know, it's bizarre.
So did you call the phone number or did you just put it in
I
Google?
just signed up.
You just did the Google form?
Yes, yeah, and that was it. I mean, I already had multiple heat audits for our Rockefeller house, but yeah, I've had at least 5 people contact me via email. Yeah.
Via email, interesting. I haven't had, no, I have had.
Maybe fill it out
nothing.
again.
Yeah, I think I have to do it.
Huh, weird. Okay.
Not that I want to be harassed, but I want to do the
Just a
audit.
little, yeah, just a little harassment. Okay, yeah, so hopefully everybody can come. Maybe we can do a push for film plastic there. I don't know how we tell people ahead of time.
We could say it while we're there.
Yeah.
I think would probably be.
Coming and going. All right, so, I mean, we could ask the library to have a collection, but I just think
we're asking a lot.
bad. They're very kind to us, though.
Well, I mean, we could
You go
have
along
it
with the
there,
shenanigans.
it's not, you only need to monitor it in the sense of you need to scoop it up and take it out.
Okay.
So
Whose
they
job
could
is that
let
gonna
us
be?
know when it's getting full, and it's like, just let them know, like you push it down.
Yeah.
It takes a lot,
Yeah. Can we get another one of the official bins, do you think, or not?
maybe.
Or are we only allowed to?
I
No,
can,
we have
I
a
can
three at
volunteer
Beecher.
BJ to take over at the library if they're open to having a bin at the library.
Yeah, so we
I'd
can
be
check
happy
with them,
to.
it would
All
be
right,
another
I'll check with them.
town
I'll ask.
spot, and I'll check with Trex to
I
make
just,
sure,
I think it's
like,
gonna be locations, what they're gonna ask, and they already have right in the entryway thing, they have the food collection for the food pantry stuff there, and then they have the Toys for Tots, but maybe the Toys for Tots thing is done.
what about though in you know, where we usually do the coat drive?
I know, but I think they don't like that
That's
to get too, you know, it's one thing when I'm there for a few minutes or a couple hours, but it's another thing if there's a thing there permanently. But I bet the toy collection thing is gone
Mm.
because it's not
Holidays are
holiday
over.
season anymore. So I'll ask, maybe we can ask.
I mean,
for that
if
spot.
they say yes, we could do something that's prettier, actually,
Yeah.
for there.
Well, I did ask too in regards to, which segues to our next Earth Day discussion. In regards to Earth Day, I asked Jenna if we could have on the magical whiteboard there, what's the best thing you've seen at Earth Day to get people thinking or at any Earth Day celebration, and then they're gonna say I haven't been to one, and then or they might give us new ideas, or they might say
Yeah,
stuff
or
that's
what
already
would you
been,
like
or
to
they're
see?
exactly
And
like.
That's a great
Yeah.
idea.
So then, and it'll get people like, thinking about it and planting the seed, so to speak. So, and she was on board with that.
Do we have a QR code on there that people who are interested in participating can?
Golly, yeah, that would be exciting too, yeah.
Get a little Google
Contact us.
form going.
Yeah, that's a good, yeah. So, let's start talking about Earth Day. Let's jump to that on the.
I was
which
gonna say,
I think
library
is
lectures are next.
Further down. Okay, library lectures, we'll just go quick. Yeah, so do we want to talk about anything to debrief from last month's before we hit Earth Day?
I think we just need to do it
I
earlier.
think it was great.
Aw,
I enjoyed it.
We used to be at a better time. I do have one more great idea everybody should do.
Okay.
She has a lot of great ideas.
That's what she's got.
If you use tissues, you know,
Yeah.
pull up ones,
Yeah.
take them out of the box,
Yep.
basically put them in any container. So you can put it in a beautiful like vase, preferably ones that taper in.
Yeah.
You know, those nice little kind of pear-shaped. And they work just the same.
Right, right.
It's just a prettier container than the
Yeah.
box.
Yep.
That's fine.
That's a cute idea.
And then
Not with small children.
Why? Don't do it in a glass one. Do it in a. Who said it had to be glass?
All right, touche, touche.
It could be a basket. It could be a different box. It could be plastic. Nothing like plastic, but could be. You could take an old. Oh, we're going to make this one. So, you know the basically Chia Barbie?
Oh, yeah. I like
The
Chia
Barbie where you cut off the head and you put a
There you
plant
go.
in it for her hair?
Yeah.
Cut off her
Chia
head.
Barbie!
And the
Oh,
tissue.
tissue Barbie!
Or you do it the flip, you do,
Make it
and,
come out her nose.
no, let it be the skirt.
That, I
You
would
do
not.
one and it's the skirt, so they pull this way and the little piece comes out and it's her
That's cute. I
skirt.
think the nose is fine. That's cute.
You need a bigger thing than Barbie, you need a potato head.
So many options, really.
But yeah, I think we had fun with it, and I think people would like it.
So do you think we need to
do it in
aim for that for
November?
November instead of
Yeah,
December?
November.
Or early November.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people are all starting to shop for Black Friday and starting to think about who they're buying for, and they're gonna need time to
And
make.
if you want to make stuff, right?
Yeah,
you
you
need to-
can, like we did it like
Make
a week
things for
before, no one was.
No,
gonna
I was like, if
something,
you
yeah.
didn't buy, you don't have time to make.
Hey, I made those bags for my office gifts because they were the picture.
So those
So.
are very nice.
Yeah, they did look pretty.
And people were like, can I plant this holly? Because I actually used holly, and they were like, can I plant it? I was like, you can! And they were very excited. So I don't know if any of it worked.
Fabulous. I made another tree, another denim tree. I need 3. You always do odd numbers when you decorate.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't have to do it. I need to-
Energy audits are we're all set with, right?
Yep.
Cycle, CT is confirmed, composting is doing those
Yeah,
confirmed.
all those things are confirmed, and
Earth
then Earth Day, the next article, so you guys are on the next article. Sustainable CT, I think, I have to meet with Allison this week or next week, but my schedule got really unpleasant. She said she had some action items to make sure that we're doing.
Leslie, I have to mute you because there is some sounds coming from your side, okay?
It's completely silent here, but okay, that's fine. Just don't be here, nothing's
It
going on.
could be feedback from the
What do
it
you
could
mean
be
action
feedback
items?
from the
I
speakers.
think like things for the sustainable CT application that she needs us to do. I was not really excited about action items myself. I was like, I have no more action in me to take any more action items, but nonetheless, we'll figure out what they are and what we need to do. And
Okay.
Wait, I didn't write down anything.
Allison has action items for us, I think, for the sustainable CT application. And again, people changed. Inez left, and we have somebody else, and there's another intern. It's a revolving door, it seems, of who we're working with. But they all sound very kind and helpful. And
Allison's with the town?
yeah,
Okay.
Allison's the town. And so she's like, I would say the point person overall, making sure that we're getting all the parts. She did ask me also, she had to, for one of the parts of the application that she was doing, it was what businesses were involved in Woodbridge Like Me Day and Earth Day and whatever. Thanks to our handy dandy spreadsheets that we made. Because I was like, she said, what participated? And I was like, what do you mean by participated? Because that, there's like a big, like, could they have
Donated.
donated,
Had a
been
booth.
there, like there were many different levels of participation, or like even Sleeping Giant Coffee, they just did the promo thing where it was like 10% off or something, and she was like,
But
it
that
just means that they like
Yeah, participate.
encouraged or like participated in some way, and I was like, good, here, took it right from the spreadsheet and just gave it to her, so
Yeah,
it was lovely.
Okay.
So that's that, and now that brings us to Earth Day.
Thank
So, we need to start prepping for reals now, because we've now hit the same year. And, again, April 26th, which Diana said to me earlier today that she thought that the, UI thing had a second bus now. So she was gonna
So she's looking at.
try to get it reserved.
Awesome.
It's the first time it fell through.
Awesome. They
So,
should feel bad for us.
they should. We're very sad for
Well,
the type of people.
Well, no, because it was booked.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
stuff happened, that
Yep.
we should have a priority.
And we all thought we booked it this year too, and then it was like, no, and it wasn't done. And so, yes, we should be the first in line for the new bus.
Yeah.
Make another bus for us, come on. So that's that. Meanwhile, I was trying to figure out like how do we best tackle this now as a big group instead of just a couple people doing it
Yeah.
this year.
A lot
So
more delegating.
yeah, we need a lot more. So I was thinking, and everybody weigh in on thoughts here. Do we divide it like here a couple people can be in charge of the farmer's market, and here a couple people can be in charge of this part of it, like the vendors, the business vendors, and here people can be in charge of the food trucks, and here people can be in charge. That way, that's who's the contact person for those particular things, to again try to divide it up a little bit and take not it being all in a few people's brains and
Or yours.
Tired.
All of yours.
Not just mine. Everybody's
No, I think that's a
helping.
good idea. Definitely divide it up, have your kind of chair of each department,
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
and we need more than this.
I
still.
know, right.
Like, we actually need to get volunteers and people who want to be part of the Earth Day event,
Yeah.
and maybe liken it to people like, similar to the Orange County Fair, to, things that are bigger where it's like, oh yeah, a lot of people work on that.
Okay, so let's at least name the different categories. Let's start there. Okay, so farmer's market is one. Okay. I put them on, they're on there so far.
Well,
Got
before that, is it Bethany and Woodbridge? Are we staying, what businesses are allowed here?
Oh, you mean that way? I thought you meant was the sustainability thing.
No.
So,
Because.
my thoughts on that would be, it depends on what the answer is to the questions that I asked the town that I have not heard back on yet still,
Okay.
which is are we sticking with the $75 thing? Because
Sounds
we
pretty
ended up
short.
covering that for everybody.
Right.
And we cannot cover that for two
Right.
towns. So, now that, obviously it'll bring in more money, but it's just more than I think we can handle though too.
And
So-
any business who wants to have a stall at Earth Day has to pay $75 to the city.
Yes, there's what is it called? An ordinance that says that you have to, right now, all peddlers and hawkers is what it's listed as.
So it's a little dated.
Little bit dated, a little bit dated. The peddlers and hawkers have to pay the town $75 and also have to be fingerprinted. And that applies to food trucks as well. And it's a safety thing, and I'm all for the safety, I like safety. But they also have to undergo a background check too, which costs them another $75. That's in addition to the $75 they have to pay the town. So it's that's a really pricey thing if you're, we have Pants for Peanuts here, a lady who literally makes pants.
I buy those.
Yes, so,
They fit.
which is wonderful. But it's a
Or
whole business.
or upcycle
That was a
thing. We'll
lot
teach you
for
how to
her
fix
to
that
have to
stuff.
pay $150. So we got part of it,
She will.
the background check and the fingerprinting, I think Mika was able to waive. But the other thing is an actual ordinance, so it couldn't be waived. It's a real thing. So we got around that by us raising money and paying for it for them. But we could only afford so many businesses as a result.
And it doesn't matter whether the business is incorporated in the city of Woodbridge or outside, 75 flat.
Right.
Could we do a promotion, the first 20 businesses?
Well, no. So, part of that is, so last year they had said that they realized that perhaps that ordinance needed to be looked into again.
Mhm.
So I had sent an email a month or so ago, maybe more than that, asking what was the status of that, because we need to know, plan. If we need to
Sure.
plan with it, it's still in place, then we need to come up with
A way to get around it.
20 businesses or whatever, we'll pay for you. And then, so that we needed to know, we need to know about the alcohol policy, if that still
Yeah.
is, that only, so for, just a
Only
rehash of
restaurants,
that,
right?
it's only bars and restaurants can sell alcohol in the town of Woodbridge. I cannot sell alcohol myself as a regular person. So,
Preferred if that changes, but that one I think we
right, if we can't change, then we do what we did
do the
last year.
same, but we have more going on at the green.
Yeah.
So that,
And we didn't actually promo it, because we
Right.
didn't, because we didn't know what was happening last year.
right, so I think either way, that one will work out. The
Right.
peddlers, I'm working on the loophole.
Okay. So with that, we actually got a food truck last year that was a beer food truck, which I didn't know existed until we magically found them at the last minute. Again, but that was another ordinance where they said, we're working on getting this changed. So we need to know about that. And then the third super duper most important thing ever is the PA system, or lack thereof. I super want a PA system, and if one is not installed in some fashion by Earth Day, then we need to rent one, because I'm not going all over to find the guy who dropped his car on the road and left it there.
So does that mean, when you say we cover their cost, means the sustainability committee covers?
Yes.
So
So we raise
where does the
money for
budget
this.
comes from?
We
The
ask for
city gives
sponsors.
money?
No,
Hmm.
the town doesn't give us anything. That sounded mean. They don't need to give us anything. We ask for sponsors.
Yeah, we got
And
sponsors.
so the sustainability committee has an account where
we do have an account with the town right now that has some money left over from last year, but we would do the same thing again and ask for sponsors again this year. So that's another
Another
area.
category.
Yeah.
Sponsorship.
Fundraising.
Yeah.
There is, I'm aware, some of my students did this a few semesters ago. New Haven has something green fund or something similar to green they call.
Oh,
And on a rolling basis, annually they have a couple of hard deadlines, which is for the big budget, like 10 grand and that sort of stuff. But on a rolling budget basis, they allocate 1 grand or 2 grand type of money whenever somebody needs. That could be an option that we may explore. I can file an application on behalf of the sustainability committee that we are hosting this event for the Earth Day, and
So I would personally feel bad taking money from New Haven for this, but that's just me.
Unless it's Yale, then we can take money from Yale.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's this concept, I think it was brought up with, there's
it's
some
not
teacher.
City of New Haven.
I know, but there's a teacher thing. I forget what is the teacher thing, where it was you can put,
know, there's lots
there's
of
teacher grants where you can put and you know what, Beecher doesn't need to put their name in when you're competing with New Haven schools that have nothing.
Yeah.
And we did a really good job last. We had money left over. We also didn't know how much we needed, and that kind of thing. I don't think we need to take from other sustainable opportunities. I think we want this to be a Woodbridge funded or Bethany a hometown funded thing, pushing sustainability goals. I guess I wouldn't wanna. If it was a big sustainable.
I would say, that's where I was gonna jump in.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to taking from a sustainable
Right. If it was
but one of those
if Peels on
grants-
Wheels wanted to give money to us, even though they're a great thing.
Yeah.
If it's that kind of thing, then that's one thing. But I wouldn't want to take a grant.
Well, no, but there are
Funding
grants
things.
out there that are, where Fairfield's taking it,
Yeah, true.
that it's out there for anyone in Connecticut. It's not, because there are plenty of grants that are for urban
Yeah.
sustainability
They get a lot
and
more
urban
opportunities.
gardening. And I don't want to take from ones that are aimed at and mostly for areas that need the funding.
Right.
But the ones that are huge organizations that
Right.
just want towns to be sustainable.
Yep.
I think we do, because although we may be a wealthy town, I don't feel our town is educated as a whole, the people in it, to
About
be
sustainability,
sustainable
yep.
yet.
That's true.
And so, that's the point of Earth Day.
Yep.
And if we can get some help with promoting that
Yep.
and getting, I don't care why you come because you like band, come for a beer in the beer garden. No, that's cool, we never get to go to the beer garden in Woodbridge. Come for whatever reason you want, you're gonna find there's a lot of cool stuff and you're gonna learn something. Get in here however you get in here.
Yeah.
So just wanted to clarify,
Yeah,
I'm
no, I
okay
think
taking
that's
from
good.
some of them. Not all of them.
Do you have a list of some specifically that you're thinking of?
Or maybe can you gather a list?
It's in my computer, so I know.
Yeah, yeah,
And
okay.
some of my students did, get some money from them for small research projects.
Would
and
your
that kind of
students
stuff.
be interested in helping out for this?
I
Yeah.
can check. They
Being
could be.
sustainable
Extra credit for coming
young
and helping on that
adults.
day.
You know, be careful with that though.
Yeah, I know you don't. you
I
have a-
dislike extremely, I can go on record with this one, volunteers that are doing it because I need the hours, I get extra credit, so my friend's coming, so I'm coming. They're terrible, they're in the way, or they're not doing, and then you don't know something's not being done because you assign someone that doesn't want to be there, but they
Right.
pretend they do.
All right, put it out there and give the extra credit retroactively.
Yeah.
Or
Like
if
that.
they're just interested in this event, that kind of thing. Because again, we could use a lot of people of that age group too.
Or an
And I wanna
extra
hit the
credit that's not
demographic.
really worth it, because they gotta come and work.
And also, I'd be interested in that. So that's a demographic that we don't ever get enough of the young adults. So we also want to know, Daniel, you too, input on what would bring you to Earth Day. So ask them what would bring them to an Earth Day event.
And so, of the high school kids I've talked to, thrilled about Free Cycle,
Yeah,
love a lot of the things we've talked about, they don't know about it.
right.
So it does
You need the
have to
high
get,
school to.
yeah, and maybe someone in their do their news or write their article, rather than us
Does anyone know a high school
giving it
teacher
to them.
Yeah, there's,
Amity, like
Yeah.
friendly with
Yeah.
and can talk to and be like, hey, can you?
so we did that last year even,
We gotta do
so.
it sooner so that we.
Well, I know, but like, so they passed it around and that kind of thing, but just like everywhere, you know, you're like, oh, it's another thing. But they did, they put it out to the different clubs. That was one place where it did go. And so, and that was somewhat successful. But again, I don't know how much it really panned out of
Like, we
kids.
just need someone who's like a quality point person in the high school.
Is there a faculty advisor for their green team or what?
There is, and she's a member of the Bethany Sustainability Group.
Yeah,
Ah, gotcha.
but it needs to go to the school.
So we need Bethany.
Gotcha.
So that's why I say,
That's
like, do they do like a daily or a weekly
Yeah,
news
newspaper.
thing or whatever?
As a member of the school too, can you answer that? Do they, is there like a Amity News or something like that?
There's like, we have like a publication, it's called the Trident, like they have like different like op-eds and all that stuff, so if you want to like publish something in there, I'm sure you
Yeah, but
could.
that's different.
get it
That's
out.
like,
There's not
That's
like
for people
the
who-
Daily News or anything like that?
No.
how do you
If-
guys find out what's going on?
If I were you, I would contact our career center because they publish like emails of all this, like, you know, like volunteering opportunities and et cetera, et
That's
cetera.
it. See, that's volunteering. How do you guys find out what's going on?
Like,
Like,
something fun to do.
There's a game to go to.
Probably just word of mouth, honestly.
A party next week. So.
I mean, there's like there's kind of like the principal's message. There is a.
Yeah, that's once a week.
But does that go to you guys or?
Yeah, it goes to everybody.
Goes to you guys?
Yep.
So that's what we need to get on and we need to
Yeah,
get
do you
it.
read it?
I read it,
There you
yeah.
go. We got one right. I read it sometimes.
I think most people do, honestly. It's a good way to get it out.
Infiltrate a
So-
high school.
At once a month?
No, because every week.
Yeah, so we, like our newspaper, like written by students, is once a month, but that community happenings is once a week.
It's on Fridays.
And they could probably email something like anytime if you need to, like the career center. Like, and they promote like community events too, like and like all that stuff
It's
too.
arranged as like a calendar kind of. They have like important.
What is it
dates.
called? The
Yeah, well,
Trident
the
is the
thing is, you
newspaper?
gotta get
Yeah.
on multiple
And what was
times.
the other one
No,
that's
it
once a
stays
week?
there. It's
Community happenings, and that's like our principal runs that, so I just contact him directly.
Then it becomes wallpaper.
No. Like, it would say like April
And do you know who the
26th
advisor
is.
Right, it's,
of
but it needs to
Trident?
be before April 26th.
Yeah.
It needs to
It's probably on the Amity website, but I don't know.
changing.
I think her name is Mrs. Clark, but I'm not
Oh, you're not sure.
100%.
Okay. And what like social media would your age group be looking at for something like this?
Like platform?
Yeah.
Probably Instagram.
You know, say
Instagram? Is there
TikTok.
No, they don't actually use it for like school stuff. It's mostly just Instagram, honestly.
So if we get you to tell us different, give you an Instagram thing, and we get it to different kids that you know are like these things, I'm gonna go with old time stereotypes.
the crunchy granola kids?
We didn't call them that. But, you know, the artsy fartsies and the jocks and the brainiacs and the, whatever, the soccer team, the football team,
Yeah.
the cheer team, and you kind of hit it to a bunch of people so that they can all put it out.
That's like, yeah, it's like a word of mouth thing, but I can help you with
Yeah,
that. I can like, I
help
can.
with that and-
Yeah.
He's getting roped into all these worms.
This is a
He
very
likes
meta
that, he
moment,
likes
right?
that.
Like, I'm never doing this again. Sorry. Aging people.
Well, it's just like I wish like one of us had like a high school student and we could just be like.
Two of us do, but like they're freshmen. They're
Well, yeah, like a junior or senior who's like in charge and involved, you know, like
Well,
one of those.
We
No,
can,
well, okay, so here's
like, I
actually
can
who we need.
contact the old mag kids that are now in the high school.
Yeah.
And I know there's several that will like
Spread
reach
the
back
word
out
out.
and
This is
send,
again
but again,
going
you've
back
gotta
to-
hit all the groups.
Yeah, I could think of some people like after I can like give you a list of some people I think like might be interested.
Influencers.
So I can let you know.
Yeah, and it's to come so early for it, but like the bands we have
Yeah.
is going to hit different people. The free cycle is going to hit a lot of people because thrifting is very in style. And that's the one where I was saying it needs to go in with,
The kids need to know.
yes, with the deadlines for them, and we need to collect at Amity.
Yeah.
And then they can bring it over and they can volunteer and help sort right then and there. Because
Yeah.
then they're getting the stuff they want.
Right. Right.
So that's what I was saying. I don't have your face and I lost
Alright, so we're trying to figure out who is volunteering for what, or are we just saying?
Well,
we
let's
ultimately
No, I would
figure out
just
what
make
we're
the
volunteering?
categories
Yeah.
and then we can, everybody can think about maybe if they're interested in, like you super love farmers markets and you want to be the one to arrange it, then I failed at that last year.
But the reason I was
Or
asking
you
about
feel
the
very
other
badly about
towns,
farmers markets.
the reason I was asking about other towns is farmers markets isn't very big
Right.
if it's
We
just
need that.
Woodbridge.
Yeah, we need
But
all
if
those
it
back anyway
is,
last year.
you're okay
So
taking
what's
other
everything
towns,
about-
it could be really big, in which case,
I would say yes, Bethany. They don't have their own event. And their sustainability committee wanted to help us, they just don't think they have the power to do that.
But like, that's great though. We have, what, 4 people from their committee? Like,
Right,
that's
there
2
are
more
people
subcommittees,
involved.
like.
Yeah.
but if they're willing to, you know, maybe they'll take on the farmers market, that's
And
one less thing.
specifically to do that, and that was kind of a.
Well, when they hear all the things, it ends up being
Yeah,
their
once we
favorite
make it
choice.
sound super fun.
So
But yeah,
there's-
I think we do include those businesses.
Can I ask a question? Is it okay to ask a question?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, again, I mentioned this last year, and I didn't think it was really that successful, but, I appreciate everything everybody's saying about the age groups. However, let's look at the other age group, and again, the seniors in our town, they need to be reached as well. They are residents of the city. We made a small concerted effort last year to include them and to get the words out and to suggest that they do things, and I think we still need to do that. My understanding and my interaction with some of the facilities here and people that I know was, what can we do? What can we do to help? Can we make things, crafts, whatever? But I think we have to reach out to them as well. I really do.
Well, we did last year.
Again, it's a smaller population. But
And
they-
the senior
Well, and also
center
the
here
senior
did
center did a big
participate,
thing, so I
they
think
did a
that's-
lot. And
That's a big
the town,
target.
the, down in the flats was going to, but it fell through.
Right, right,
But I
right,
would
right.
think this year, they'd be more,
Right, with more notice.
with more notice
Hopefully
that
less
the.
turnover, because
Right.
the business
They
turnover. I
need
think,
notice.
Right.
Right.
We need to communicate with them better.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
but they were last year.
Yeah, so
It
I would
was-
say the seniors are, like, they've historically done the tag sale, the senior center here, and the other communities were gonna do their own tag sale and have it be a multi-site tag sale. And
Right.
I think that's a great way.
But there
to-
was turnover, and
Right.
so it didn't happen, but
Yeah.
they were planning on it, and
And
they
they
knew
still, the
about it.
senior center.
So,
But I know that they want to become more involved, they want to actually make this something that they can do on a day, everyday basis, things like be more aware of recycling. What can we do? How can we set up these things? They just need advice. I mean, I know that that those are private
That's different than
organizations, but
Yeah.
I don't see why it would be wrong to try to work with them to suggest things and actually, have a greater, potential for them attending, et cetera. I'm just saying, I think they need to be represented as well, and actively, so that it carries over, not just a tax sale, but things that are more meaningful to them on a daily basis. We had talked about recycling and things like that, and then the ball got dropped. I'm not sure what happened. I know I tried. What can we do to reach out to them as well? And I don't mean exclusively the people that are living in long-term, just our senior population.
so should we add that to like the next month's agenda? Because that's not an Earth Day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think right now,
Okay with me.
we've kind of got to focus, and here's the tricky part is, it's January now, we have only like 3 more meetings, really, until we're hitting Earth Day, so like, we have to go into high gear for Earth Day planning right now. So I do think that's a super important thing, and we certainly should have it on our agenda and be thinking about that in particular in a sustainable CT sort of like perspective of like, that is an important cohort of the community, and we want to involve them and do that. But I think right now what we're trying to focus on too is what are the different parts of Earth Day and who can we get involved? And maybe it is, I don't know, maybe we get, depending on once we have all this laid out, if we want to say like, well, maybe instead of Coachman Square doing another tag sale, maybe they do a different part of the farmer's market. I don't know, that would be strange, but nonetheless, I'm saying like, maybe another part of this would be better for them and not the tag sale. So let's keep
Well,
that.
so maybe someone should talk to them, do they want to come here and
Right, I think that's
do
what,
something? The
Yeah.
caveat is, you have to promote something sustainable here.
Yeah.
I am not comfortable changing that. I very much
Oh, right.
dislike
I
going
agree. I
to
agree.
yeah.
an Earth Day event and someone's there selling jewelry that I could have bought on Amazon
Right.
anyway, because they did. And,
Yep.
marked
has
it
to have
up.
a sustainable-
It has to have a
I think more
sustainable
of the-
piece.
The people themselves that they generate.
So
whatever
do they
it is.
wanna come here
You
and
know,
have a
it-
booth? We
it-
had- what
painting,
did we have?
something
We had a
using
senior booth.
recycled material, whatever. But just to get them a little more proactive and to be able to, and I know they're hooked into the potential for seeing our lectures and all
We did,
that,
this
but.
was wonderful, we
Yeah.
had a lot of information.
Yes, there was a booth that was,
Yeah,
yeah.
we had one senior center group that was here,
I forget, what, autumn something.
something, and it was part of just the vendors.
Yep,
But did their sustainable piece.
Yeah.
So Coachman Square can come.
yeah,
Or would
Yep.
you like to be running a tag sale, whether it's that day or?
right.
Might I suggest that we just give them a blanket invitation, something that we think of, and just try to put them in and give them choices, and then take it from there.
Well, if you want to take that on, because we're
Yeah,
not giving
I do that.
anybody
I gladly do. I work with seniors every
Yeah,
day.
we're not telling
Well, I don't
anyone
mind.
what to do. They tell us, we invite, and then they tell us what sustainable action or information they'll have.
Mhm.
Because we have so much to do, we can't be planning
Right,
for the
that's
groups
sort
that
of, like,
come.
that ended up happening last year, is people were like, well, we'd love to do it, why don't you plan everything for us and we'll show up?
Yeah.
And we're already stretched so thin that,
We can't do
Well,
that.
no, and also one of the facilities was in transition, changing
Right,
over.
right.
So, I mean, hopefully that won't happen again this year, but,
So I think
you know, I don't mind reaching out to them and coming up with something to
Okay.
show them, to give them options or whatever. But, you know, again, I think that should be part of our planning for Earth Day too. So I
Well,
don't mind doing it.
it is part of it. Every facet of the town. That's the one thing I liked about this event last year, was
Yeah.
everybody was invited. If they
Right.
were listed anywhere we could find them,
yep,
they were invited.
That's true.
Every
I
business,
delivered all those
every,
stupid
we went and we called literally every
everyone who has.
organization
in
of
here.
any type in Woodbridge. If they had their information out there somewhere, we called them.
So we need like a blast. That's kind of what I was saying when I was talking over Leslie, was like the Google form of like, we want you,
yeah.
come, what do you want to do? Here are the parameters. It needs to be sustainable. It can't be like, we have to think of like, it can be this, it can't be this. Obviously keep it broad, but like, are you interested? And if we push it out ourselves on our social media, in our friend groups, and we get it out in the town newsletter, in the feature newsletter, like pushing that out like literally
Now.
Now.
It has to happen now. And
So we can
that means
start-
we need both the Google form finalized now and fixed from last year, because I think last year we ended up with the two of them, because I think we had sort of a different one.
one for the vendors, one
Yeah,
for
and
the
then I think it
regular,
ended up just
it
getting
just needs to be like one, like check, are you a vendor or are you a
Right, and then
volunteer?
it goes to
Or-
the next question,
Yeah,
you know, to the next
All right,
question.
so
I think we need like, can we do an extra meeting? I don't really wanna be doing that, but we, sounds like we kinda need to.
An extra meeting to get that, with
With that, like
Yeah.
that, just that like first part of like.
do we wanna do it, so for anybody coming Saturday, do we wanna like go a little earlier, a little later on Saturday?
Yeah.
Well, we're already there for the other
Yeah,
meeting and
that's fine.
we're
Yeah,
done.
I can do that.
This
meeting ends in 6 minutes.
Okay, 6 minutes, okay. So farmer's market, tag sale, business vendors, educational vendors, bands, food trucks, other entertainment, Cyril, and anything else, if we have other, you know, the high school
Cyril,
dance
bus,
And
yeah.
other.
yeah, they're the other entertainment, the EV car show, sponsors and fundraising, and PR and promotion. Any other,
Parking,
Wait, I don't have these on mine.
it's okay, I have it on mine.
advertising.
That's
Even
a
if
PR
we're all
promotion.
doing it, yeah, promotion, I didn't hear promotion. Recycle, did you say it?
Oh my god, the whole reason we do this.
I didn't
I need
get
my
it.
wardrobe.
I know, I did not
Started.
get word from rec yet, just so you know, I didn't forget, I just haven't heard back.
Okay, yeah, we need to.
I asked.
Yeah, what are the other,
We need, I'm like, we have to have it. in
I think it's gonna
something.
work, so I'm not worried,
That's
I'm not
good.
thinking of other locations, I'm really
it's
there.
strong,
What's it called? Manifesting, I manifest well.
What are other parts that were there last year that weren't there and we want there?
Did you put the recycling, like the
There. That's
mattress?
Yeah. So what do we call those? They're the,
Mass recycling?
we'll just, yeah.
That works.
Bulk recycling? No, what do you want to use?
Which we should talk about and think about, I hate to say it, but I'll look into Savers again
I meant.
to see about, so Savers,
I
if
know.
you set up a program with them, everything that's donated, they weigh it and you get money towards it, so it'd be money to us. I don't know what they don't give you a truck, but they could reimburse a truck. So there's some funky, weird stuff, so I need to talk.
Our Goodwill guy is so reliable.
Yeah.
I know.
We have loyalty to his reliability.
I do love that, and you know, I am a Goodwill queen.
And Savers
But-
isn't any better than Goodwill. It's the
Um,
same model.
It is, and I feel like they're a little snooty about things at times. And
They are a little bit pickier.
Not really,
No?
only compared to our one guy at Goodwill.
I know,
Not
he's so
Goodwill in
reliable.
general, but you do make money from Savers.
I know.
No, that is, but how much money are we talking?
It could be a good amount, 'cause it's by weight.
Like $100? $1,000?
I'd say it could be.
I'd say hundreds.
Yeah,
$100? Okay, that's decent.
Yeah. It's
But again, and it depends, so like, what we have
And
to
it
do is
sets it up, and
decide.
you could then, from that point forward, go to Savers, and when you drop off, say, this is for.
Part of the Woodbridge
Woodbridge
Town
Sustainable.
thing. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
because like the
another
part of all those
program.
things too is like, you gotta think about,
So
like, how do we
then
wanna
all that
curate
go
what's at
towards-
this was at the high school last year, I'm
Right
just
down here.
saying that for argument's sake, because I can't think of anywhere else for it to be.
I don't
So if it's all at the high
think
school
that's-
again, those trucks, you know, Goodwill didn't want Bay State there because Bay State was the textiles and Goodwill claimed, you know, like everybody's, they're in competition with each other. So like, they didn't want the other ones. Goodwill claims we'll take the textiles too, even though they're not supposed to. They don't really want the textiles, but they'll take them just to not have somebody else there. So like, they're not gonna want Savers there, so like, if we do that, then that's what we're committing to for textiles and for furniture and for everything, you know, that's the tricky part there. So then,
Will they take all that?
I think so, and especially if it's by weight, then furniture, woo-wee, you know, so,
I don't know if Savers will take everything. I had to drop something off at Goodwill.
so,
Furniture,
right, so
I think
maybe,
they don't take,
you just
right?
wanna look more into that program, or, I know the Boy Scouts are doing it right now, so if you wanna ask,
There's
One of the
also,
troops.
I donated, there's a lot of things from my grandparents' estate.
Yeah.
That I needed them to pick it up and,
Oh, the
It was-
veterans, right?
no, this is in Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
But it's nationwide. It's not Habitat for Humanity, it's that right now.
restore.
Restore.
Yeah.
I called them and like whatever I didn't sell from the estate, they came with a truck.
So they're
and picked it all
more
up.
stuff, it's not, I would say it's not gonna be like clothes or, like, so we also need, in this, we need somebody who will take the excess of recycle.
So that's what I think you need a couple things. I think you can have Savers to donate all that stuff. If you have furniture and big stuff that you need a truck for, Restore will come and
Yeah.
take it.
Okay.
And
So,
there's two.
yeah.
Or the textile
pieces.
items, right?
2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes, 2 minutes.
Tech,
Yeah, so then the paper shredding.
And paper shredding.
And somebody
Just
gave
make
me
sure
a
that's
better
all.
paper shredder, a cheaper one than we had last year, so we can save a little bit of money on that. So yeah, the tech recycling stuff, the mattress recycling.
and
Not
we
going
should
where it was
double
last
check on, what do you call it, the transfer station? Bad stuff, chemicals.
Oh, no way,
Hazardous waste,
we can't
no,
afford
they
it.
won't.
I mean, it's not that about that, it's to get an extra time, you have to pay a lot of money. that We
That's
could not afford
divisional
last year, that's what
water.
we're doing.
Right, but town doesn't.
Yeah, the
want to
RWA
switch
doesn't
to
have
town.
it available on that day, because they do it in Hampton that day.
They didn't even tell us when it was.
1 minute,
That's
I
how
know,
much
but
they want.
things change, and as it grows, it may be like, oh, one and done.
I know, but remember too, what we ran into of like, how many things is anybody gonna pack their car with? You know, like, all.
No, that's what most people, nobody
Well,
taps at me, but
and- or
most
if we're
people,
gonna-
right, you're like, I'm doing it. You know, my husband hates to do any of it. But his thing is, if we're doing it,
I know.
do it all. Like,
And then,
you'd
like,
rather
do
go
the
back and forth and
deposits
then
too.
it's done than this one today.
We're under a minute, we're under a
I'm
minute.
totally that.
So think about that, if we wanna do the hazardous waste, if we wanna push for that, if we wanna push for doing the cans and bottles, they have that company, they just told us about it very close to Earth Day last year, and I think they couldn't do actual Earth Day, so we were
Right.
like kiboshed it, but I think now they're available, they asked to talk again about it. That, it's a pop-up thing, you go, have everybody bring their bottles and cans, they do it right there, they give the money right then.
I think people would like that, especially with the new
Right.
10-cent return.
Yeah,
And we did also talk about, though, if we're gonna do like hikes at different days and
yeah, if we
different
do that on a
times,
Sunday, maybe we
Like a
can
hike
those on
spread
Sunday.
these out where, you know, Sundays is cans and bottles.
Right,
and-
that's what I'm thinking, that's a.
Saturday is-
Waste. So it's not you're bringing everything there, because like, I can barely gather myself to come to these things, like, let alone fill my car at the same
Yeah, but
time.
that's what
Yeah, you're running it.
I know, but, I'm discombobulated in general. No, but like, anybody, and with kids, and you're like trying to like figure
Oh,
out
yeah.
where everybody is, and they have their shoes on, and like,
So
then
we
you're
can
like,
go
oh
to
man, I
that,
came and didn't bring my
like,
cans.
Various
So-
dates.
Okay.
And make it
From
match
what-
with different walks
From what I've
and
been
events.
learning
Yeah.
from these past couple meetings, from attending last year's
Yeah.
amazing event, and
And
just
participating
and
blindly,
and also just scrolling through all of last year's stuff that's been posted.
how much did
from
it scare
you.
you?
It's a lot. It did scare me. So I do agree with the idea of having
Yeah.
committees, just so that we can all specialize in this one particular area, and then come together and have these meetings where
You're right.
a group of people can discuss one particular topic or a couple particular topics, because there seems to be a lot.
So I guess that's my question too, is like, do you guys all think that we can form subcommittees that aren't all each other? Like, do you think that you can go find some friends to be like, I'm gonna be putting together the food trucks for Earth Day, who wants to help me?
I hate to say it, but I don't think
You're
so.
like,
You
I'm
are
just like,
my
these
friends
people
that
already.
do this. I've already tried.
I know. So, can we get more people involved? Do you know anyone else that is responsible and willing? You were my person. You were,
I mean, like, even if we divide it amongst ourselves and have one person as like the point person to talk or focus on, okay, like, you will call this person and check on the vendor. You will make sure that the town is aware of, the statuses of this PA system or whatever. Just to like have one person talk about one particular
Right, so
topic.
we just
We
need
don't
to
do that. That is what we did last year. There's just not enough of us.
There's not enough of us. So, like,
Okay.
really, we need like more.
We need all 10 and plus some.
And then, because here's the other part of this too is, periodically I'm supposed to meet with like Jenna at the library
Right.
to say, here's what's in, and here's what you can do with the town, and here's the next part. And she's like super jazzed about this
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing, and she's excited, and she's like, I've never planned something of this caliber before, but I'm really excited because she's participated in ones and she wants to, and she had really good ideas. And she sent me some things on fundraising, but it was kind of like our Google Forms that we already did, so I didn't really think we necessarily needed to. I guess we can combine. We can do that on Saturday. So things like that, like we do need to report back to somebody else in some respect to say like, here's the progress, and this is what's happening, because like they have to do stuff on their end. Like right now, she actually, I don't think it's happened, needs to do the general consent for us to use the town property for that date. Even though the town like agreed we could do it, but we still have to do that and go get it through the board of selectmen. Probably tonight would have been a good time for that. I don't think it did. So those kinds of things have to happen at certain dates to say like, yes, this is what's happening there, and yes, we have use of this. Like you have to.
Right. Can that, I know that those documents you sent, like, that
It
was
was
a
a lot.
lot of
It was a
stuff.
lot.
Is there a way from, based on what happened last year from your experiences that you believe would make it a little bit more streamlined or
I think we need
more?
a Google Drive or Google folder. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did.
No, we did.
We did,
So,
but like separate it out, like so we have like our Google folder for Earth Day, and then it's like all of these is each its own folder, so that like if I'm planning farmers markets again and actually do it, then all of the information I collect is in there. I'm in charge of it, but any of us can look at it to reference it.
Right. So we
So
did. I
that
think
we
maybe
have-
we didn't do it right from the beginning, but
We
we do
didn't.
have the Woodbridge Earth
We
Day
did eventually.
email.
Yeah.
And so that is there, and it's its own Google Drive because it's a
We should all
Gmail.
access
And
to that,
we
I
do
think.
it's where are the passwords for that? It's somewhere. I don't even know what the
I don't
password is
remember
anymore.
Well, it will be
But-
more streamlined this year in that we started some spreadsheets
Yeah.
and then they changed
Right.
and then they
And
changed.
we added.
So now
We almost need to
will
like
be better
use
at,
those, but then make new ones.
Start fresh
yes,
ones,
and if you're gonna be the main point person, you can have yours however you want,
Yeah.
but you'll be pulling it off from
Right.
your however you want, and they'll all be similar.
But right. No, I do think
Farmer's
we should
market.
be
It's like a
separate.
template.
And yeah, so there's a template and there's a folder for each one with all,
Yeah.
because we
Name
all
of
organize
business or
differently, but it's all
organization,
in
point
there.
person, phone number,
And
address,
we tried to
what
do
they're
that
willing
with
to
the
do.
one
We were
major
trying to make it so that it
spreadsheet.
fed right into it, so that this Google form that people were filling out, that therefore we weren't putting in where the farm was and what the
Yeah.
phone number was and all this, and we like put it as the
Yeah,
Google
that's
form, except that of course like somehow, I found this like when I was giving the thing to Allison the other day, like, and I was like, why can't people just fill out their address like in the address bar? Like, they didn't put the name of their thing, so I ended up like having to fill those in retroactively now.
It's almost
But
better
make
that
it so
way
that you
anyway, because it's a check.
Right,
Just
that's what I'm saying, like,
Yeah.
it would be, like, for someone like myself, it'll be good for me to see what I can
Like,
help with.
how'd you
I'm
interact?
not
What's
trying
it-
to think
well,
and
everyone else with it.
long.
We'll give you access to last
Yeah.
year's, and you'll see,
She
some
has
of them are
she has-
same.
That's what she was
Not that
overall.
they're disorganized, but some of them are like,
Oh, no, they're disorganized.
they'll probably actually look fine too, but you'll see discrepancies
Yeah.
in this
Yeah, the format's not
tab
the
to
same
this
for all.
tab,
Right.
not even that and that.
Well, there were
We
some too
stopped
that we
using
weren't telling
this
the
tab.
library all the stuff yet.
Oh, and then you doubled it, that's right,
And
we
we're
doubled it
using
up in
this
another
one,
tab.
so they're not gonna look the same.
Yes.
Because we had some that
But
were cleaner for the
We
library.
all knew which was the one we were using,
Oh, that's true,
like
too.
this
There's
one's
information we
updated
didn't want them
and on
to-
target,
Well, we didn't
and
want to
everything is
confuse them.
accurate.
Okay.
We
That's
didn't
true.
bother
So with
deleting
everything,
those.
so
all our
it's too
notes.
much.
It's like
Let's
tapping
say-
someone else's
meetings
view
are
from
separate.
mine.
Yeah.
And trying to-
So you can take a look at that to
I guess it
see
depends on
Okay.
all we did, and that's where I say,
I could after.
I could meet at 3.
contacted.
Well, the thing starts at 3.
Ed.
Oh, our thing starts at 3?
Okay.
And if there's anyone we, you
students.
know,
Library
that
closes at
we
five.
missed, like,
Yeah.
we'll just
So
add that on.
it all just depends on if we
and
think how
then
far
they
if we think we're
weren't
gonna go
in
over.
any
Sometimes the
direction.
lectures go over, then we get kicked out of the
That'll be my
library
assignment.
completely,
We
so
did
it's better to
that.
start at like 2:30.
But that will be really
Before.
Yeah.
helpful for you to look
Right,
at to
yeah.
see.
For those of
I
us
looked
who
at it
have
really
already
quickly
had this
on it,
lecture.
and, Hillary shared it.
I'm sorry,
It was
not
just very
going
overwhelming.
to.
It was just trying to.
I haven't done
It's
all of it.
nice,
I don't feel like
especially
I
someone
need-
coming
But we can be
in.
working
Yeah.
on it during.
But that's good. That's
But
good.
it was done
That's true,
more.
because we just
Right.
whisper in the back.
And she was taking care of farmer's market, this one's taking care of this, I was.
Yeah.
So what time do you, because I can
Religious
just,
I would say, let's
organizations.
plan for
Okay.
2:30, because
Okay.
sometimes I have to get there
Okay.
anyway, sometimes the
That
library
sounds
sets
good.
up for us,
I'll look
sometimes they
into
don't.
it.
So, and we'll color code this year.
Yes,
That's
we
all
do need
solid.
color coding.
You know I love a good color coding.
Yes.
Should we put that in the agenda somewhere that new and old members, the emphasis on new members,
Yeah.
should look into the Google Drive
Yeah.
and start deciphering.
Everybody has access, definitely.
Yes.
You got access to it when I give her access, I give you access. You might not want
You just
access.
don't know.
I don't know if I have
Um,
access, I'd have to open up the computer.
I will talk to Larissa, I can't think of anyone, you are my people. But I'll ask Larissa, and I wonder if Lynn Piasek maybe would want to. I'm thinking they might be more apt if they do something.
Yeah, then
But-
there's-
Right, is there anybody from
Those are the only people I can think of.
who did Woodbridge like me that you think would, you know,
I did participate in the committee this, for Woodbridge Like Me. But Tahara might be really interested.
I mean, like they had a booth, the
Yeah.
diversity committee had a booth last year, or whatever you want to call it, table, last year, but they didn't like run any particular thing. But again, like, so this sort of like blossoms out of the fact that like first we were going to do the Fix It Fair, and then Republican Town Committee like took the Fix It Fair, and they want it back. They want it
Oh,
again.
great.
Oh, yeah, they're
and we
ready.
are like, you take that Fix It Fair, you know, like, and so like maybe we can get the Democrats to do something else, but maybe the Democrats want to take the farmers market. I don't care. We're willing to give them
Honestly, that's
anything
a good
here.
way to go.
So really
Like-
the focus is delegation and
Exactly,
getting more,
like,
getting more.
Can we
people.
contact
And
the other
not
town
only-
committees and be like, what do you want? Here are the
Well, I know,
books.
like, I mean, the Economic Commission would be super duper to do the vendors, right? Like,
Yes.
Right.
it would be that kind of thing, but again, I think like, just like when Alice is like, oh, I've got some action items for you, and I'm like, really? I don't want to do anything, like, I don't want any action
I
items.
already have to do anything.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that's part of it, but it has twofold here, because one, we're including everyone, which I think makes everybody engaged and buy into it and get their families involved and all of that, and it's not just us doing it, it makes it in general
What
more
did Boy
sustainable.
Scouts do last year?
It's a good question.
They couldn't come, right?
I can get the Girl Scouts to come this year, I think, because now they're
One
not
troop
leader.
couldn't come, the
Oh,
other
bigger.
troop I never contacted.
No, well, no, because
Forget
Boy
you.
Scouts love that. It's not about coming to the thing.
Yeah.
Boy Scouts are.
They usually do the plant sale during that time, and I think they were all camping or something.
I think they were camping, but if they're not camping, they're very good at running things.
Yeah.
So whether they're taking on the parking, they're taking on
Oh,
the
that
trash
would
and
be
the
a
recycling,
good-
Right.
they're taking on
Everybody's not listed.
all the,
What's it parking?
but, because there's some older,
Right.
I'm not thinking of the little guys, I'm
Yeah.
thinking of the big dudes.
Right.
Troop 41 already can't do that weekend, even though I tried booking it up
What
early.
about the baseball, to do this, do
So-
sports equipment donations?
Well, the tricky part about that is it's a Saturday.
It's baseball season.
Yeah, I know,
It's
I already
baseball
talked to my
season.
husband about that, because he's on board there, and he's like, no, they're not gonna go for that.
Yep. So last
Well, but the
year, I
thing was
tried
something
sending
like
out
that.
emails like at this time and let every town, like soccer,
Oh, you'd let them all
baseball, and the taekwondo, I'd let everyone know, you know, that
So-
we were having cricket's true.
Really?
Yeah.
But if we have an idea, like, do you wanna do a, sports swap, sustainability? Now, Rec would probably do it, Rec has done it before, they
And
they
there's
do
so
it at the
many
road
different
races, so I'm sure we can get Woodbridge Rec to take that on. But if
We really want
Woodbridge Fathers League wanted to do it, you have to let them know, like, yes, it's running this long, but that doesn't have to run that long.
There was a lot of kids in
And
baseball
you
uniforms that
don't
would dance
have to
the
be there the
thing
whole
last
time,
year.
you can do an
Yeah,
hour
Al Camp
shift,
got food.
45
Yeah.
minute shift.
Please do not dump.
And then you have to talk to the next person,
I'll keep
and
hounding
then the
my
next
husband
person, so if you.
Baseball equipment does not get bad, like the bats don't break.
Right.
No, but people outgrow.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. And
Right. Well,
it's
that's like hockey
cleats,
stuff
it's
for the
pants,
Every
it's,
season. Sometimes
yes,
twice a season.
it's all the stuff, and they don't have to just do baseball, they're
Right, they
going
can
to do
They can do lacrosse, they can do
sports.
hockey, they can
They're
do
taking on
taekwondo gear.
the
And
whole thing, but
That's
all they
nothing
have to
about
do is be there with a space that we're
right.
giving them.
Anything with children.
And be there
And then it's
to,
no good, you give Savers or Goodwill or
to
whatever.
oversee it, and at the end, your last
my
person
money.
needs to bring it over to whatever truck we have, Savers, Goodwill, whoever, to donate it out. You just need humans to man that station so kids don't come around and start swinging bats at each other. The adults need to be the ones to swap. So that it isn't a big commitment and it isn't a lot of work. And they can put up their little signs, and they can have sign up at the same time or promo info at the same time. That's why I say Rec will gladly do it.
The JCC did that one year. I forget what year.
That's another group that they wanted to be
Yeah.
part of it, and like, I talked to that
They
guy at
could run the
lunch.
sports thing because it was
Okay, let me
fabulous.
put
It was
some-
all sports equipment for all ages, all different sports, and everyone came. It was coinciding with one of the open houses that the JCC had. And they just ushered us all outside, and my kids were, pint-sized, and they just took whatever they thought was really
They
fun.
could do it not on Saturday.
So the JCC have had.
Yeah, is there baseball on Sunday?
Yes.
There's baseball all the time.
There's always baseball. But if there's a better date for them, in the sense
I mean, they
of
can have
lining up
the-
the people to work it, they can do a 4-hour.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind even running that because the equipment drives me insane.
Just-
Yeah, could you be the first one for
Just we
cut
need
it
you
out
to
of
share.
there.
We need you to
And I will bring.
Well, if you can get
All that time.
him to spread the word and get people to start donating, you could be the collection
Man,
site,
that's probably why
and you could
it's
run
like
it that
that.
morning, and all the baseball's over by 3 o'clock anyway, most of it. It's like, well, or maybe
Saturday, yeah.
Sure.
But like, whatever, whenever they're done, we go until
You
5.
butter.
Okay.
You butter.
Then they come and
So,
they
April
pay, or,
26th.
you know, if it hasn't been
Be there,
taken,
they can do
so it's
whatever they
it's mostly a free
Because this is
collection anyway.
this is what like happens is people are like, oh, what do you want
I
to
would
do?
do that. I
Maybe
think that, I
it's
think
an
that
hour
this,
and
because
it's
we
like, no,
had
you do
that
whatever
plan
you
against
want.
sports,
But
which
if they
is
do want to like
all the
food
way up.
trucks, I would say
I won't even buy
maybe
anything
they're
from
probably
them,
sort
or
of like
we can- what
the
if
free
we do it
cycle
just here
number.
in
That's ours. They
Woodbridge?
can't.
Yes.
There's so many families who would love that.
The tax sale is
Everyone would
10%
bonus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't
think
give
that's-
that away.
And it went pretty well in
Bring that
Rec
home
did.
there.
Yes.
They wanna have the
so-
road races.
But, and I wouldn't necessarily have like
Would
the
be Rec
JCC do
organizing
the
it,
business,
or-
that might be kind of weird.
It'd be
you
nice
know,
if we're organizing. Rec is
they
going
could do
to
the
have
EV car
workers
show.
and they help out all day,
Or,
they'll have volleyball and
you
other
know,
things going
I'll
on.
look at
I'll
that
talk to
list
Patty
on the agenda,
again
Yeah.
about
and then I
extended
will
day,
contact someone at
doing
JCC.
The lawn games.
Yeah.
Or they can do whatever,
Yeah,
if they
I
have some
wouldn't
other
mind doing the
idea,
sports
Right,
thing.
then
as
they
long
can
as
do
they
something
run it,
else.
yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be-
you run it.
That'd be great.
But,
Look, I think that would.
That would bring a whole different demographic there
but I
too.
want the JCC, I want the big
Yeah.
thing.
Nah,
Big
I
organizations,
that I can get
local organizations.
the
Yeah.
friends
Is
and
Willow,
stuff. I don't
did anyone
use
contact
social
the
media.
Willow with that?
I can get other people to.
Is it
Yeah,
just
I
like-
think,
Because you'll know
is
all the
that,
baseball friends.
are they still the
Well, not
Willows,
just
or is that what
baseball.
changed to be
Oh,
Auto
maybe
Lake or
that's
whatever?
what it's changed.
That's the
Because
difference.
TJ mentioned that auto.
These, yeah, that's who did have a thing, and I think
you
that
also
might
have
be
the
what it
tennis
was.
down there.
I think they changed to be Auto Lake.
Oh, right, that's not that much.
The long hair is a very volatile.
Yes, all day something.
They grow out of where
Right.
kids are just over with the
Very
sport.
private and very,
And
have a
this,
direct
and then you've got
too.
like the little ones, like, yes, the older
So,
ones,
but it seems to be
use
that
it
the
much
people, it's
more.
like their social director.
but the little ones
Oh,
don't.
hey, we're talking about you.
Yeah, come join.
All right. I brought a friend.
Yesterday,
Hello.
we were at this.
Jeff Hughes, everyone. How you doing?
Nice to see you.
So, we were actually just talking about how you guys, as the Republican Town Committee, had like taken ownership of the Fix It Fair and were hoping to do that with more groups.
Yes.
To own like the farmer's market portion or other things to, you know, again, have like big pillar, what do we call that? I don't know. Sort of like, it's like a mall where you have the, what was called, the stores, like Macy's in a mall is the anchor store. Yeah, we want like more anchor things here. What, you don't like my analogy? So to have more things to
And I want
get,
something fixed.
get more groups involved. Right, you could have, I mean, the JCC could own the whole recycling.
Right.
Yeah.
Being the mattress recycling and all those things, and they could, you know, whatever they want. So,
It would be, I mean, one of the things that kind of came up serendipitously though was people came to us not
Yeah.
knowing that we existed, so
Right.
we've got to message it better this year. But also, well, just odd questions about like, well, I need a plug for this, I need
Yeah.
a Gizzy for that, and we said, well, why don't you go to the electronics recycling? So having kind of your landmark or
Yeah.
your pillars, as you called them, I think that would be really helpful, especially if we kind of coordinated or even understood who was where that would likely need to refer.
yes, I know. That's the other thing, we super need better signage.
It worked out pretty well though. I think
Well-
everybody kind of just trolled, and so they
It
eventually
was a
got there.
good path and it wasn't bad at all, and the little thingies
Yeah.
people used, and.
I know, we just need
I
better.
heard very
It
little,
only gets easier.
Well, we didn't finish
Yeah.
that until like a couple days, like the
very
week
little
before, so.
complaints of the
The biggest
sign
complaint I got was
actions.
that there was so much to do that people missed stuff.
Yes.
And that's a pretty good complaint.
Right, and that was
That's
on
a good
them
problem.
because they're not used to there being so much
Yeah.
to do, so you go thinking, oh, I got 45 minutes, it's perfect, I'll go
Yeah.
ahead. And then you're like,
I need 3 hours.
yeah, 45 minutes isn't gonna cut it, I'm not gonna make the whole circuit, and I wanna
You
watch
need a
the show,
shopping cart.
and that's an hour, and, yeah. But we have the signs that we can still use.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I think also now
Order
we-
some more signs.
Exactly. We know what our costs, we have a better idea of what our costs were. And we spent money on the lawn signs and the one banner and the A-frame ones, and we
Yeah.
have those already.
Right.
And now, maybe we think of other ways to do the signs for the pillars. You know, just say the big things, the farmer's market, make a big,
We could do
real,
more A-frames.
you know,
We can
Let's
set
think
those in
about
wherever.
that. It would be nice to
Yeah.
have a large
Yeah, to make,
map.
like, to make
And then
sense
maybe
for
we
this.
even just Velcro on
Yeah,
so
we
that
just-
it can keep
Like
changing,
that
but the
one that Donna
map.
at the library made, that was just like the town layout,
Right, so
You know,
make
yeah,
that
we can-
huge,
Yeah.
that's permanent,
and then we put the sign, like, yeah.
and then we
Velcro the
tack
sign.
on it,
Yeah.
so we can change it every year.
Yep, I think that's good. We can do the same thing, like make a big sign of what the band lineups are, also Velcroing or whatever we need to do to put those on there.
We can do it so that it goes inside of like a plexiglass.
Yeah,
So that your base is there, and then
Yep.
you Velcro on, tacky, blue tack, and then drop it inside
Sure.
the plexi.
yeah. Again, so I think like now we invest in those things to make it so that there is better signage and better things, so that people don't feel like they're missing out, that they know what's there to see and they can make their plan accordingly. And we need a better welcome station.
Well, we need a new location, that was, I know
Yes, I
that's
know
what
there
I
was a
wanted
location.
location, but that's the wrong location, and now
Yeah.
we can say that was the wrong
That was the
location.
wrong.
It should be on the other
We said that
corner.
last year, but it.
The hard part too is one is the layout of our land here and the parking situation, which comes from everywhere. So there's people entering from every spot, so it makes it really hard, but I think we just make it on the green, right in the middle and not at the town hall.
Like where the food trucks were.
Yeah, I would say put it with the food.
Yeah, because that's, everyone's gonna get food.
And where the bands are, you know, like,
Yeah,
it's a good,
that's
you
the
start
central,
there.
the beer garden's there.
Yep, lead them right to the beer. There you go.
And that's where the Fix It station is going to be.
Right there. I don't know, I liked your knock in the back, it was a good knock.
No, I like this spot.
Yes.
I would
Yeah.
advocate for that spot again.
Okay.
It was nice.
You just need electricity, that's the,
But we got it.
Yeah.
And actually, frankly, the types of repairs that we got,
Yeah.
we don't know if that'll extend to this year, of course, but
Right.
it worked out well. We needed very little.
have you started to think about your fixers?
Yeah, so we are planning on repeating the
Yeah.
same ones that we had last year. So we're reaching out to those folks.
Great.
But we're also putting our, thinking caps on in terms of what can we
Right.
do. The
Was there
thing-
anything last year that people asked about that you didn't have?
So I think in general, we had online requests to do kind of general fix-it repairs, and we had a friend of mine is like incredibly handy, and so he was prepared to do. We had hundreds of pounds of tools to try to do some of this stuff. But I think generally speaking, we hit the big ones. The one that I would say I had hoped to bring in last year that we just didn't have, I think, the persona or the reputation at that point in time,
Right.
because it was the first instance, was somebody who, we have an electrician, we don't have somebody who can take apart an iPad and put a new screen on.
Right.
And I've tried to do it at home, it hasn't worked for me. So we need someone who actually can do it. But there are a couple of shops around, so we're gonna try to add a couple of other folks now that we can say we had some success.
Yeah.
And see if we
Jeweler?
can.
Yeah, you didn't have a jeweler last year, right?
We did not. That's a
Jeweler,
great
we
idea.
did. Jeweler and Mike Shoe.
From like shoes up here.
If you just Google other fix-it fairs, you'll see what the.
Cobblers,
Yeah.
jewelers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But and jewelers, like, you'll get someone, because that's
It's like what's
relatively
affordable,
easy
Yeah,
Yeah,
to be able to
I can,
work
I
for
can see
most
it.
jewelry
Yeah.
repairs, but so many people
And there's plenty of
won't
those
do it.
around too. I mean, Michael's is down in Orange or Milford or on the Post Road, and there's one in New Haven.
And there's a
So
lot
we
of
can-
people
we
in
try.
town that make,
Make jewelry. Actually, you know what? My wife's friend's
yeah.
sister.
Like, it doesn't, like, they're gonna need a, like, a magnifying glass and a couple small
Just hold
tools.
this up.
You've been
So,
nominated.
Yeah. All right, so we've got ideas.
Great.
But also, if you start to noodle on that, like this is happening, let's. We've gotten enough time
Yeah.
to see if we can strike a few more opportunities.
Yeah, I would say just start advertising.
Yeah.
I think, it's pretty set in stone that you're gonna do it, so.
Yeah, I was
Yeah, yeah,
actually
okay, here.
complimenting your proactiveness in putting out your quarterly calendars. It's one where I get an email or I see it online and it tells me exactly what you're going to do for the next 3 or 4 months. So it's a good thing
We
to,
do?
yeah.
I didn't know we did that. I didn't know what
I've
our
seen,
newsletter.
it's just like, we're going to do this every 2 weeks and it's published. It's like,
our
and it's
newsletter.
Earth Day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're a little late this month.
Thank you. See,
Yes, okay.
you're just too busy. You just don't know what to do. But in any event, if there's anything that we should be doing to prepare, so you can add that when you guys are ready to do some of the Earth Day specific stuff, let me know and we'll.
No, I think we were just saying like, is now begun.
Okay.
So we were just dividing everything up into, we're gonna try to make it more into the different groups and have like a point person for each, but you guys are the point people for the Fix It Fair. It's yours now. For better or worse.
Thank you.
Please don't give it away.
Better, for better.
Fair.
I don't care, whatever you wanna call it.
Yeah, Fix It Station, I think is
Okay.
what, yeah.
yeah,
I think
'cause
that's fine.
It's a
We're a
station, so it's not a
subset
fair. It's
of.
not a fair.
Fix It
Fair.
Stations, Fix It Station.
The other one they call it is Repair Cafe. Is the other name.
Oh, that's
Sometimes
cute.
it is.
Oh, that is
Do
cool.
you want to be a repair
But
cafe?
we already bought our sign.
It's a Fix It Station.
Also, we use our sign.
And you have to have food.
Yeah.
If you say cafe, I
Yeah.
say
You
no.
guys are coffee with our repair.
Yeah, I expect.
Although we did have
I
great
really like
food last
Wreck-It
year,
Ralph.
so we offered coffee to many.
Oh, really?
Maybe we'll put in a little sign just like also the repair cafe.
You gotta have people vote on which.
Would you like a
like
bottle of water? Let's just sew something back together. But in any event, we'll start updating creative and I'll send it to you so you can see if it works or if there's any suggestions.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's gonna be a good
yes,
job.
thank
There are
you.
a lot of past people who are very excited.
Right.
to-
Oh, no, I would say
forward to this.
everybody who participated last year is very excited to, so it was a good experience, I think,
Yeah.
overall for everyone.
Yeah.
And they want to participate again. And so we just sort of have to see where we can fit the people who did not have a chance to participate and how can we help them to also take ownership of things so that we don't have to take ownership of everything. So,
People might be a little less scared now, because
Right.
it was such an unknown.
exactly.
Tell us what to do because we don't want to disappoint, but now it's like, we know what to expect.
Well, and, the only reference point they had before was prior Earth Days, which were much on a smaller scale, and they were like, I don't know that I really want to invest a whole day in,
Yeah, fair.
but now that they see what's
Yeah.
else.
To that end, we did have some people that were trying to do fix-it fairs in other places, and I actually kind of gave them how we had planned it.
Yeah.
So if you do have people that are, having a period of consternation in terms of setting up your other pillar, and you need, you think that we could be helpful in terms of
Okay.
giving them
Oh,
some
thank you,
oversight,
that's great.
be happy to share, kind of how we built it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, thank
That
you.
is helpful. No, that will be, because like, it's different coming from you than it is coming from us, where we're like, it's great, you should do it.
I'd be like, It is great after you get it done once. Here's some ideas.
We need more music.
We do.
More live.
Not just on the big, not just on the green.
What are the PA system?
We need a PA system, we need to rework the green for another day, we'll figure that. But we talked about last year, I don't know what the heck, something you said made me think of it. Having smaller things,
Yeah.
so that like wherever you go,
The traveling minstrels. yes.
there's something. So whether it's somebody on acoustic guitar outside the gym and somebody over by, little string quartet going on by,
Are you
So we
open
again,
to
we have the beach
local
recorder.
bands?
Yes.
yes.
I have a band for you.
All right.
It's a family band.
That's we like all kinds of bands.
Yeah, I don't know if you know the Taylors, but their kids are at Beecher. Anyways, they're
Oh, yes, I do.
yeah, they're incredible.
Okay.
But they would, I'll tell them and I'll
Okay.
get you guys connected.
Yeah,
Oh,
Aaron, right?
Grace and.
Yeah,
Yes,
Jonathan.
yeah, Jonathan,
Yeah.
the drummer and the.
And
yes,
Aaron
yes,
is a
the guitarist.
ridiculous singer. So.
Yeah, but yeah, I can
Can
text
we do
Aaron.
this
Oh yeah, if you have
as a
Aaron's contact,
donation
sure.
of their time, do you think?
Oh, they've been trying. They actually did something at Town Line Farm just so they could
Okay.
start playing as a
Good.
family. So
Ah,
they'd be
excellent.
all over this.
We did, I just want to tell you, we debuted
Yeah.
3-day weekend. We were there for
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
gig. So, we make things happen. Now they're like touring basically.
I'm
So that would be like another high school question then, like, is there any budding musicians at the high school that would want to take on a small?
Yeah, I have a blues person I'm gonna check with, and one of our past MAG parents is with the Yale Orchestra, I believe still, so
That
I'll
would be
see
good.
if they,
Yeah, all kinds
she's
of
done the
music would be
farmer's
great.
market, I ran into her at the farmer's market, is why I'm thinking of it.
Yeah.
I could contact Suzuki. They're always doing stuff at the library. Yes, and they love the whole purpose of Suzuki.
Right, it's like to share it.
Is to share it, so they would love to. I'll
Okay.
contact someone to get that.
That would be fun. That would be like a good thing for the gym,
Yeah.
to have. Oh,
I
actually
will
not
talk
the
to
gym
Sound
because there'll
Effect
be
again.
free cycling in the gym.
Yeah, free
But
cycling is
wherever
okay.
Cyril is,
But
we need
outside,
people
no, but
to-
outside, in the front there, under the awning,
Yeah.
instead of, although if we are doing more everywhere, that's still a good place to do a cityscape
Yeah.
up the walk. And then if you have music there,
Yeah, people liked being there. They all left.
but there was nothing there. But if you've got free cycle, it's gonna be nonstop traffic. And then if you're building the city outside and you have music,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a lot of people there.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna be asking to move it, or you're not, your location was great.
I thought I had Aaron's number, but I don't.
I'll get you.
So I'll contact Sound Effect again too, and Amy and
But
John.
see, but this is now where like everybody's gonna be doing a little bit. We gotta have the.
So we need someone in charge of music. You're
The
in charge
chair of music.
I know, but you gotta have the people that know the people.
True.
I can
That's why you
refer them
share
to
Google
the
Drive.
music person, but the contact of are you in or are you out?
Okay, so we're gonna do
They
the
do
Google
fun
Forms on
things.
Saturday,
Yeah.
and we'll talk about how we're gonna do subcommittees.
Pretty much just start talking to everybody you know. If you think that they have any skills, sustainable thoughts, want to be involved in any kind of way, or if a band, an entertainment person of any kind, a small farm, an artisan, local, particularly local stuff.
I would say, but
It's like-
that goes right back to the.
No, but if they're local, if they're Woodbridge,
Local.
if they're a Woodbridge person and they make jewelry in their basement, they can absolutely have a booth for it. If they're out of New York City and they make jewelry out of the basement, they're out of luck. They can go somewhere else.
Unless their store is in Woodbridge, so
we
business
want-
or residence.
Has to have some sustainable pitch to it. That can be that you use recycled materials, or you recycle certain things, or it can be that we're promoting local.
Yeah, the basic.
And you're super unsustainable in other ways, but you're local, and that's what we're trying to encourage.
And they must be willing to pay $75.
Well, that we have to talk
So
about.
that's only if you're selling something.
Only for selling, not.
Yes. If you are not selling something, like let's say you're an author who wrote a book and you live in Woodbridge, and we're promoting local things, but you're not selling your book on the green, you can just be there. So it's only if you're a peddler, if you're peddling or hawking.
That's what I was looking up, so
That is
for our lawyer,
Yeah.
when they're trying to, if they say there's an issue, a peddler basically has to be a commercial dealer, I'm not gonna go back and track to the peddler. There may be loopholes around it, so if they don't wanna change their terminology, most of these little businesses are, that wanna do something, are not peddlers or hawkers.
We could mess with the pedagogy and see.
By legal
That's what you
definition.
do, right, for them?
They don't fit
Not
under
on
the
camera.
legal definition of peddler or
Law
hawker.
lawyer, you're the closest we got.
Was the loophole I was looking for. Peddler is someone who sells things, but it's a very specific type of selling.
What kind of restaurant deals with this stuff?
So,
Well,
just saying,
Carnival or circus?
well, peddler is sometimes known as an
Not a
itinerant
carnival.
vendor, which is a commercial dealer who goes to a public place for a temporary period. So I went and looked up commercial dealer, which is a person who deals in products,
Business of remanufacturing.
I think all this too is like, is it in good faith? Like if somebody.
right, which is a
accidentally-
much larger thing. So the people we are inviting are not peddlers or hawkers or commercial dealers. They do sell items.
But they
But
need
they
another
don't
name though.
fit under the legal definition of a peddler or a hawker.
But what would we qualify them as? Because we have to have some sort of, like, they are not a peddler or hawker, they are a,
Have to just finish
If
reading.
you would like, I'd be happy to engage in an offline conversation after
About how
I take
we
a look at the
can-
town charter. And I
Okay.
could offer a
It's- so
recommendation
just
that might
one
also
thing.
help you when
Yeah,
you
they
need to
said
do
they
the
would
formal.
revisit it anyway
presentation.
because
Yeah, so we're
obviously
hoping
if
that
we're
it is
using
gonna
terms
go
like
all
peddling
work
and
nice.
hawking, we're
Yeah.
Side
outdated.
conversation
Yeah,
was good.
I could
I was
do
just
that.
preparing just in case.
we're ready to go at it. Okay.
Alright, so all that's that. Tanya, you're gonna talk to the JCC. Dan and Leslie are our Democratic Committee people.
Are we moving on to 10, updates from the CC? Deb?
Oh, that basically, sure, we can have it just a quick, I needed Tom for that kind of too as the other person. It was just to update you guys. So we wanted to just get a feel in general for what is anybody's, since Tom and I are on this TAC committee thing, what are the committee's feelings on what should be done with that property? As
Well,
we're representing.
so I think, we've all had side conversations about it, but I personally feel like it should be a mix of different things in that space and not used for housing, like what's happening at Fountain Street. And it's preserved for the town to be used as hopefully some kind of space that could hold weddings or community events, or possibly kind of a similar to the JCC but more localized to Woodbridge, preserving a lot of that open space. And I had a couple other ideas, but I can't think of them right now, so.
Can we talk about some businesses there too, so it's similar
Mixed
to,
use.
yeah, down by Coachman Square and down there, and it's actually not a bad path. Hit some stores and cafes and whatnot, and then work your way up and enjoy that little area, and then there's still some recreation facilities there as well. Keeping the open space, the feel of Woodbridge.
Yeah, because that side that's on the road, I don't think anyone would be too sad to see that side developed where the current building is. Right, but I would not want to see it subdivided into even more 1.5 acre or 2 acre properties. No, yeah, and none of us, I think we all kind of know each other well enough to know we all agree on that. We don't want more people for houses.
Stephanie,
I have other ideas.
Yeah?
Things like, kind of like what you said, but that keep it outdoorsy, like Topgolf. Like, so it's outdoorsy, but it's a gathering spot for like teenagers and like things like that. Breweries or brewery.
Picnic
Good
here.
coffee shop.
We need one of those.
We do, we need to bring pistachios over, or a known name, we were talking about that too, like something known but not
here, yeah.
big and commercial, like something, a local, like a
But
Claire's
also-
Cornucopia, a pistachio, something you know and you'd be like, oh, there's one here too.
But also keeping it so that we can, I think that there's a lot of nature that lives there. I mean, I'm walking distance from there and I walk in there all the time and there's a lot of animals and whatnot that live there. So,
Yeah, it's become a sanctuary in essence.
Yeah.
Right, so that's some of the arguments that have occurred during these meetings for the open space, is that it's now part of like migratory patterns, and there's gosh, they had a great, there's like something like special trees, but it had a great name, whatever it was. They're like legally important trees or something like that that are there.
Native species?
No, it's a much cooler name. Something that was like something like important trees, but it was like, but with a
Are they
capital I.
keystone species?
No.
Right.
Whatever it is, it's like a capital.
More important than a keystone
Yeah,
species.
it's like an important tree with a capital I. So, anyway, there's all these things now because it's become so overgrown and stuff that now you've changed the ecology of the
Yeah.
thing, and like changing it again would do other things. So,
And no one can get rid of that hill.
and so, but nonetheless, a lot of people feel very strongly. So again, so since Tom and I are like here representing everybody for this, like, there's a lot of people who are saying like, don't develop it at all. And so there's like the housing people want all housing there. The senior center, the person who was representing the senior center actually wants to move like the senior center there. And like they went around each committee and I was like, like, everybody kind of wants it for their own thing. And then they're like, sustainability, why are you putting here?
We want it for everyone.
Yeah, so I'm like, everyone, like, you guys don't need it for anything for you, and I'm like, but we want it for everyone. And they're like, yeah, whatever. But so I would say like that's what we sort of need to know. What are everybody's feelings on this from at least our own committee and from the community on whole? So community members speak up to say like, here's what we're really pushing for, because like they were like, well, why does your committee need the space? And I'm like, well, we don't.
We fight for
We run
everyone.
the Earth Day.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
Please speak for the tree.
yeah. Well, then conservation's all about like they don't want to do anything to. They're like, no, we want to leave. Conservation wants to leave it exactly as it is, and housing is like, no, we want to build 1 million affordable housing units on it, and
I'm probably more on the conservation side mostly.
so. And I felt like we, like Tom and I were like the weird ones who were like, yeah, we just want everything. We want for everything. But you know, we want to make sure we're adequately representing. So, Tom, your thoughts?
I think the theme of having more inclusivity, which includes multifaceted, you know, storefronts, but also really acknowledging that the area has changed, and I would argue for the better for nature and for the animals and for the foliage, respecting that as well. But you know, that balance is really difficult. There's going to be a lot of opinions
There's a lot of
associated
opinions.
with that. But I do like the idea of being inclusive of the humans involved, the land involved, and the animals involved. How we strike that balance.
Yeah, we have to make it sustainable for
Right.
the community to hold this property.
Right,
And the only way that's
exactly.
going to happen is with some sort of generating, or its ability to generate income
does
of some sort.
Well, I think some of it
Yes.
too.
Or some sort of, you know, intrinsic value that is
Yeah.
just
Well, I
necessary.
think like so this idea with the whatever's going on Fountain Street and like who do you want to attract to come live in Woodbridge? Like who comes to live in? Why did we all move here? Like I think we all have kids in the system, and you did before. You already lived here, so that doesn't count. You didn't have a choice.
Well, no, but I moved back for,
Right.
I mean, I moved back for family, but because
So,
of the schools, it was
yeah.
a better time for schools and I had to
So,
babysitters.
like, that's what got us here. And it's like, so is that the only thing that Woodbridge has to attract? You kind of need more than that, or we're already bursting at the seams at our schools. So, like, what else is there? If they were hoping that we're going to attract, like, young single professionals to these larger apartment buildings, like, well, why would they move here? You know, like, you need something that makes it fun to be there. So I think you've got to have some sort of like mixed use things, like unless they really like hiking or something. I don't know why. Like somebody comes
no
and
25-year-old's gonna move to Woodbridge and be like, look at all the bars I have fun things to do.
Right. So you know, like you want to have things that attract different age people, whether it is seniors. Like I'm pushing for Leslie here since she's off the meeting. You know, like that we want to attract seniors, that we want to attract young single professionals, that we want to attract not just like 1 million other families that are going to like make our school system unsustainable. So you know,
That
we need
would
a
be in the
mixed
coffee
use.
shops. And
Yeah.
That would look like what Oxford looks like.
Yes.
Yeah,
You know what I'm talking
more like that. I was thinking
Oh,
So not that big.
that the
Quarry Walk.
The
yeah,
quarry.
like
Yeah.
the Willis.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, it is super
I have a friend who
cute.
lives in the community just like that, and she is a young single professional. Well, she's not single, but she's a young professional, and she does like walk to the ice cream shop, and it's like a big dorm room. Honestly, the whole thing is so cute.
Yeah, it's amazing how they are
Just
still,
someone from
have still
Oxford, like
kept
how
up
did they
the
do all that in such a
greens
short amount of time?
But he was in
chairs
phases.
and the fire
Vanderbilt was there for a long time
pits.
before. Yes.
Oh, okay.
It was owned by Haynes Construction, it was a quarry, and they don't.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Right, a little up in-
Interesting.
Because it didn't have that whole like second portion of it, the apartments, like Goodwill was, I know where the Goodwill was. And that was there for a long time, and it was nice, and then they started like adding on.
It just felt like.
And now it's like, yeah.
Built up.
Can I summarize like our suggestions just to see if like,
Yes,
we're all
please.
in the same place? So
Yeah.
preserving
Hold
open
on,
space,
no
no homes, small local businesses, more inclusivity, multifaceted, a space for young people, families, and seniors. Possible public space, respecting the change to the environment, and that it needs to generate some sort of income and be sustainable for the town to hold it on the payroll.
Okay. Well,
I don't have any strong feelings about that property, to be honest.
is there anything what do you think would draw more people to Woodbridge?
I don't know, I'm here for the schools,
Yeah.
but I'm also fighting with the school. So I don't know that I'm really, I'm at liberty to say.
Is there
What was your
anything-
second thing that you like moved here for? Because like I moved here for the schools, and secondly the open space. Like
Yeah,
I
the
drove
open
around and I was like,
space.
I love this town. It looks beautiful. Right? Like I like literally like looked at how like I don't know 25 houses here, and I was like, wow.
I
Everybody.
mean, I like the open space, but I feel like we're also very, very separated. The
Yeah.
properties are
So
so.
this would be a gathering space.
Like, I wish there were more bike trails, I wish there were more walking places so that we could, gather. There really is not too much. You have to
There
try
aren't a
Yeah,
lot of
these places
neighborhoods
small.
that you feel like you can just like walk around and hang out with your neighbors and stuff. They're all very private and roads don't seem safe.
Right.
They are.
It's difficult
They're,
to ride.
they're safe to drive on, but they're not safe to walk on, not because
walking,
you think
the
someone's
biking
gonna mug you, but because you think someone's gonna run you over with their car, just to clarify the safety. My only concern with, and I do want some storefronts, like a little cafe or whatever, is because of its location, you are very close to Westville.
Mhm.
And so you don't want it to become a new hotspot. Westville's getting to be a nice little Carmacho's Garage, and Jari's, or some nice
Yeah.
We want it
New
cool,
West
but not that
Cafe. Yeah, so you want
just
it,
wanna go
you
with
don't
it.
want it to be, you want it to include all. You don't want it to be just the young hipsters.
Right. Well, that's the multifaceted that
And
like
it's,
Tom's
yes,
talking
I
about.
understand,
That's
it
what I
needs to
see in,
be
like,
that
yeah.
multifaceted, so,
Yeah.
you might
You
go
don't
there
want
for
teenagers
a
hanging out.
drink or for dinner, but you're not gonna wanna hang out there all night. You're
And
gonna
you
have to
can
go down
merge,
to
like-
Westville or into New
And you
Haven.
can merge the idea of Oxford's quarry, and also
Yes.
I'm thinking Guilford, that beautiful town,
yeah.
Green, like that would be in a fever dream of mine.
It goes to 6 o'clock there.
Really?
That's
Yeah, There's like a couple restaurants
So
that
we
stay
have a town
open, but there's
ordinance of
nothing going
You need a
on
mini golf.
late at
I
night.
know, but it made me
Feel
think of
bad.
like, so Bethany had a performance of the Nutcracker from New Haven Ballet, like it came, and it was in their town hall, because their town hall is actually big enough to make like an auditorium space.
It's not any bigger than our gymnasium, frankly.
Right, it's probably the same.
No, but they
But
have
we've
the
never-
stage and it's
They actually didn't use
set
the
up.
stage.
We do
didn't-
have a
It
stage,
was
but
backwards.
We do.
It was backwards,
storage
oddly enough. They didn't use the
stage.
stage, which was sad because I couldn't see their feet, but nonetheless. But it made me think of like, we don't really have a space where we do say like, here, come and we're gonna have a performance of
Some
something.
performance space.
Like,
okay.
even at Beecher, like half the time South Assembly is not what's used, like we have the concerts for the music stuff is in the gym, because that's the only place that can fit everybody.
Yeah, the theater at the high school is small.
Yeah, it would be
Right,
cool to
it's
have
really
like a
not
big
that big.
space like that.
Right, to have a space that like there is no place in Beecher that actually you can gather everybody, because there's now
Yeah.
more, it's.
So they have to have 3 open houses.
Right, so, or
Well,
like,
even our assemblies are too.
right,
Yeah, you can't fit.
right, like no place now in our whole town fits
The whole
everybody.
town.
Yeah, fits the town.
The
So-
high school cafeteria might.
That would be cozy.
Well, the high school can have might, but it's
We're
not,
really tight in
And
there.
plus it's the cafeteria.
it's not, set up to
Doesn't
use
really
as anything other
inspire.
than
Yeah, it's an
space.
AT room.
Yeah.
It's just not
So,
pretty
nonetheless, yeah, okay, well, those are good.
All right, so I
Thank you
think
for
I've
that.
got a pretty comprehensive list here for everything we said, and then I think we need to close out. Do business, anyone have new business?
New business.
All
Anyone?
right.
Any other
Whatever, you gotta
comment?
put
Public
the
comment for the end.
Leslie's thing.
Did you
Oh,
put
what was
that?
Leslie's
Just
saying?
thanks for
They
letting
give the
us walk in.
seniors, they can
Nice work.
Leslie wants to welcome the seniors right
I'm sorry, for Saturday, we're meeting right before.
Future
2:30,
meeting.
2:30 if you wanna come work on stuff.
Inclusivity of seniors, sustainable initiatives.
Unless, hold on,
Yes.
nobody, you guys aren't
Why
on
you
that.
make these?
There is supposed to be a TAC, that TAC committee, there was a, they had said that the next time we were meeting might be Saturday. I think I can still do 2:30. It was supposed to be at 11 whenever we're meeting, but then people were arguing that you could meet on a Saturday. Which I actually thought it was
Our meeting on
great.
Saturday is our subcommittee meeting,
Yeah, I know.
so we don't have to report that officially.
No. I'm saying that the town, so I have to be at the country club thing.
On Saturday.
Well, no one was quite clear on that. Somebody asked when's the next one, and somebody said, oh, it's the 11th, and they were like, oh, that's a Saturday, which I was like, yay, it's a Saturday, stop making them in the middle of the day when I can't go to them.
Okay.
But then I'm not sure if the town employees can actually go on a Saturday.
Oh, because they're not leaving, yeah.
Right, so there was sort of like, there was a
Gray area.
unclear email situation of people being like, yes, it's on a Saturday, and people being like, it's on a Saturday?
So I'm just gonna leave this next meeting as the
But I
first
think-
Wednesday.
Snow is for
Everyone,
Saturday
February
night.
5th.
Really, it's snowing?
It's the European models of the week, I don't know.
Okay, is it moving
That's like
away?
8 inches too close.
Oh my god!
Yes, exactly.
I know, well, that's the thing,
I know, but
is
that's
we
what
might get
But it could come
nothing,
back.
or we might be snowed in.
Well,
Not
Saturday
right.
night.
I want it.
I want to ask you more. I want to
So,
You could go down that hill.
Anyway,
I'm just checking, I just, if it's
2:30 Saturday, we're going to talk about stuff.
Okay, well, if you want Pomper
The hill has to
before,
stay.
I think I can. I have to go through the steps.
okay.
Well, if there's no bell, right, do you want a bell?
2:30 for any of that stuff.
Okay.
Also,
For-
is there, what kind of biomedical?
Hardwall.
Motion
Come on,
to adjourn?
motion to adjourn, 8 o'clock.
Okay.